up? It's Madeline Paquette. I am a certified sommelier and co-founder of WineFolly.com, where we learn by drinking. Today, it's cheap versus expensive wine. This tasting is our chance to understand why one of these wines costs 10 times more than the other one. My first wine is our super value. It is a $7 100% Merlot from Tuscany, Italy, called Lavischio. On first look, this wine is a medium ruby color. Looks great. I get aromas of red cherries, red currants, clay brick, wild thyme, and raspberry sauce. It is very tart. It has medium plus acidity that really explodes in my palate. It leads into very light, faint tannins that end and sort of prickle on my palate with a little bit of herbal notes. It's more like fresh forest fruits, and it has very little presence of oak. So no vanilla, no clove, nothing toasty or anything like that. This second wine, this one's the doozy. This one cost me $75. It says Merlot on the bottle, but it's actually only 93% Merlot with a few other grape varieties blended in. Let's see how it tastes. When I look at this wine, I see that it is more of a deep ruby color with orangish tinge on the rim, so it also looks quite good. On the nose, this wine smells massive. I get macerated cherry sauce, blackberries, blackberry jam, vanilla, and tobacco. Subtle notes of sage and thyme. It almost has this floral hibiscus note to it. Every single time I stick my nose in this glass, I feel like I get more and more flavors. Whoa. It starts more in the fruity tart realm, cherries, berries, and then it smooths out in the mid palate where I get some sort of vanilla notes, and then I get back into the sort of rich smoky tobacco with blackberries on the finish. The tannins are about the same as the first wine. They're subtle, they're there, but they sort of dissipate rather quickly. But the palate continues to evolve in my mouth even while I'm talking. Why does this one cost 10 times more than this one? You remember those flavors of vanilla and clove and tobacco that I was getting in the second wine? This wine had none of those. And why is that? Well, it was aged in oak for 3 months, just 3 months, but it was most likely large, old Slovenian oak barrels. So they're not imbuing any oak flavors into this wine, any of those delicious oak lactones that we get, such as vanilla, such as clove, allspice, that sort of a thing. So what you're tasting when you taste this wine, it's more about the grapes, the actual grapes that you're tasting, and less about the oak aging. Let's talk about Big Papa over here. The grapes from this particular wine, the Merlot, comes from Atlas Peak, which is an even smaller and more specialized region that's very famous. So the grapes for this bottle alone cost, I estimate, at least around $8 to $10 per bottle. That doesn't include the oak, that doesn't include anything else. Layer on top of that the 85% new oak that they do, which they pay at least per bottle about $5. When we compare these two bottles with one another, which one looks bigger, heavier, and more impressive? The Palmeyer, right? It's massive. It's a huge, heavy bottle. It weighs a lot more than this other bottle. And my God, the punt is so deep. Does that mean this wine is better? Is the punt an important thing? A very fancy bottle with a very fancy cork and a very fancy foil can cost up to about $5 per bottle. What do I think? Is this wine taste 10 times better than this wine? I would say it's at least 4 times better. They're both by independent producers. Both of these producers are trying their hardest to make great wines around the world. So that's what I have for you on cheap versus expensive wine. Remember to pay attention and to learn more about what you're drinking. And if you love what we're doing, definitely subscribe. Until next time, peace out.